call this meeting of the Timberville Town Council order, November 14th, 2024. Please stand and join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I'm going to change up some of the, when we get down through here, just so the council knows, I'm going to move the countywide transportation up a little bit and the public hearing up a little to 110, 710 if we're there. That way we can get some of the people out who need to go elsewhere. So everyone got a copy of their minutes. Hope you've had a chance to review them. And now's the time, if you have a changes or amendments or anything, now's the time to bring that forward. Any questions, any comments, any changes? I need a motion.
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, go around the room.
Yes.
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 Okay. Everybody has a copy of the treasurer's report. Any questions for Melinda on the treasurer's report? Okay. Move on for that. You also have a copy of the bills for payment.
Make a motion, we pay the bills.
Okay. Do I have a second? Okay. Any questions, any further discussion? If not, go around the room.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you all. Okay, Kinley, now we're going to have a little presentation about a county-wide transportation.
Hopefully you have that information in front of you, and how many of you on the council have heard about the door-to-door transportation? Oh, okay. Well, let me fill you in a little bit. There is tax money that's taking both federal and state funding that's out there for each county for transportation. And Rockingham County has not been using that money. And so there has come up a plan for countywide door-to-door transportation. So if you have an elderly aunt or a grandmother that needs transportation to go to a doctor or a grocery store, the program that we were asking for support of is one that you would call 24 hours in advance and set up an appointment, and they would come pick up your loved one, get them to their appointment, and then they would set up a leave time and take them back home. I should have told you that at the beginning. I'm Kinley Simmers. I'm the pastor at Trinity UCC in Timberville on Church Street. And so I deal with congregants that are feel like they've lost their independence, and you rely on loved ones, and you rely on all these people to try to get you somewhere where some of them have served their community for years and years, and we have an opportunity to provide them a service. So $800,000 of the money will come from the taxes that's already collected. Nothing new from anybody in Rockingham County, nothing new from Timberville, nothing. It's already there. And Valley Interfaith Action has raised $200,000 to match that grant, so this program can be funded for 1 year to see if it's feasible and see if it works. Sometimes the question comes up, what happens after 1 year? Well, we want to try it and see if we can help our loved ones for a year. And after a year, if it doesn't work, the county has not lost any money at all. It's all been funded out of other pockets, out of businesses that have pledged support. There is another proposal that's been brought to the Board of Supervisors, and they have signed a letter supporting that one. That is an Uber system, which is a 20-minute wait, but that only serves Dayton and Bridgewater. And so for the same amount of money. And so for that program, that serves 8,600 people in the county compared to this program that we want to try that will serve 86,000. This would be used all the way from Burton to get to people to Harrisonburg, from Elkton to get people to Harrisonburg. It's a total on-demand 24-hour notice program. So I'll just read you the letter that I'm hoping that you will support. And all we're asking is a letter saying that you want the Board of Supervisors to sign the letter to send this proposal to the state to also be considered for the grant. Because you know, anytime you have grant proposals, you can send more than one grant proposal and the state chooses.
Can AC took the liberty to write this in a form of a resolution?
Oh.
I'll have him read the resolution, then we can go from there.
Yeah.
And then, you got it there? Okay.
This is a resolution requesting the support of the Rockingham County Board of Supervisors for a countywide public transit demonstration project. Whereas the Timberville Town Council acknowledges that access to reliable transportation is essential to our community's economic development and public health. And whereas many residents face challenges in getting to work, medical appointments, and shopping venues to acquire essentials for their basic needs. And whereas the volunteer organizations in northern Rockingham County provide a strong support network. And whereas the Timberville Town Council understands there is an opportunity to attempt to address these needs through a one-year demonstration grant from the Virginia Department of Rail and Public Transit. And whereas neither the town of Timberville nor Rockingham County would bear financial responsibility and the matching funds would be provided through a third-party organization. Now therefore be it resolved by the members of the Timberville Town Council to request the Rockingham County Board of Supervisors to vote yes to submit a letter of support for the grant to provide for the demonstration project to determine whether countywide demand response transit is warranted.
Okay. Now,
Yeah, so is there any questions or anything from anybody?
any questions for Kim? Okay, and we need, so choose a motion to support this resolution.
I make a motion to support the resolution.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, any further discussion?
Yes.
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 Okay.
Thank you for getting us the letter, Kenley. It made it easier for me to do that. So everything that Kenley gave me in the letter, I put into the.
Thank you.
I put
Do you want to take this with you, this resolution?
Do you have it?
We don't have it signed or anything, and I can send it directly from the town to Rockingham County then.
Oh, okay, that'll work.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all. Okay, let's move down. Chief, you have a report for us real quick?
Just a couple of things. We have been doing speed studies around town using the Stelstat traffic computer, similar to what VDOT does. There were some concerns talking about the development possibility out off of American Legion. So we ran the traffic survey from near Irish and from near Roxbury, so on kind of the two opposite ends of that hill around where the subdivision will go. 85th percentile is a term used by National Highway Traffic Safety Board. The threshold being if 85% of the vehicles on the roadway are at or around the speed limit, then NHTSA considers there to not be a speeding problem. On American Legion in that area, the 85th percentile is around 32 miles an hour, which is 7 miles over the speed limit. Historically, as far as speed enforcement goes, officers are not writing speeds for under 10 miles an hour. Most officers giving 12 to 13 miles an hour discretion. So what that means is that there is some speeding over the 25 mile an hour speed limit. It's not enough to be considered a safety issue by NHTSA. We can always provide extra speed enforcement, but on that road it's pretty challenging because of the way the road's set up and everything. But I don't feel like, looking at the data, I don't feel like there's any kind of safety issue. We do not have any traffic crashes in that area. Almost all of our traffic crashes in town are either intersection related or rear end collisions from stop and go traffic. So we just looked into it since people had some concerns about it. It does not appear, based on our research, to be any kind of a significant safety issue with speed there.
Okay, thank you, Chief.
We do have, we did do the trunk or treat
Oh,
as a community. Apparently was very successful. I missed it, but a lot of people there, Austin.
Yeah, we had, counts that I had, we had 412 kids, or 612 kids. That doesn't include all the parents and the adults that were coming through with them, so it was a highly successful event.
I was out of town, but the PD was there in the front office, and I'm sure some council members were there. So that's something that's just kind of obviously grown some traction over the years, very successful. We have historically done, in some years past, done a program with elementary school that was Shop with a Hero. Requires a lot of planning and impacts a relatively small number of kids, somewhere from a dozen to 20, depending on how things worked out. It's hard to get volunteers for everything. So we changed our priority from that to we do a pizza party at the elementary school for the last couple of years, which is impacts all the kids. All the kids get to participate instead of a handful of kids. And it's one of those things, we see the kids out in the parks or on the sidewalks and everything, and they'll come up to our police officers and, hey, I saw you at the pizza party, this and that. So it is something that does appear to make a good positive impression. It's fun for them. We get spend some time in the cafeteria handing out pizza and talking to the kids and all that kind of stuff. Cecilia in the front office always ramrods that, and it's successful. So that's something we've done in the holidays that impacts more kids than what we were doing before. The other thing was very touching and had very deep impact, but we're touching a lot more kids that in a non-enforcement, non-scary environment. It's not on a traffic stop. It's not in any kind of a crisis. It's in a very agreeable kind of a situation. So some of these kids don't get to see law enforcement, and when they do see law enforcement, sometimes it's under very negative circumstances. So having a positive impact on them in a positive way is always a good thing.
okay, thank you, Chief. We have a 7:10 for our public hearing, and it's going to be a joint hearing with the Plan Commission and Town Council. I need Kevin to open up his meeting, and then I'll open up the joint meeting.
Okay. I would like to take this time to open the Tuberville Planning Commission public hearing meeting in conjunction with planning and with the council.
Okay. And I will open up the joint public Planning Commission and Town Council meeting. And we're here for public comment on the conditional use permit. You want to go over that real quick, AC?
Right.
So, wait a second. Before, and Melinda asked me to do this, and I forgot already. She's the one who has to take minutes and try to remember who everybody is here. And that's very difficult. So make sure before you leave, if you haven't done it already, there's a paper in the back to sign into. When she goes back and writes the minutes, she knows who got up and spoke and all that sort of thing. So please do that. If you look at her minutes, there are many, many, many pages and many, many hours put into doing it. So we appreciate that, but make sure you sign in so it helps her do her job. Okay, go ahead, I'm sorry.
All right, so the town received an application for conditional use permit and an application for variance. The variance hearing was last night, and what this is for the warehouse use here on off of Macaulay Drive. So, to give you a brief of last night, the conditional or the variance was needed because of where the townhomes were built. It created not enough distance between the commercial property and the use of that and the townhomes. Go even further back, that warehouse building was built 1940 something, probably, is that right? And that property was actually out of town. It was annexed into town in 2000. So when it was annexed into town, it was just, the town inherited it. It was still being used as a warehouse under the ownership at that time, which I believe was National Fruit still. And then it was sold to the Ski and Skate company, and they continued the use as a warehouse. And so it was just the continued use the whole time. When that was annexed into the town, apparently the zoning was set at B1 commercial. The current ordinance, our current land development regulations don't allow, they allow a warehouse and storage use as a conditional use in that zoning district. If it was industrial, it would just be permitted by right. But since it's that zoning district, that zoning designation, then it has to be a conditional use. So talking with the town attorney and his office, we determined that the variance needed to come first because without that variance being approved, the council and planning commission couldn't take action on the conditional use request. So the public hearing for the variance was last night, and that was a pretty simple one. It was, a variance to this 50-foot distance that was required by the land development regulations, and it was granted. So the variance request was approved last night. So that brings us up to tonight with the conditional use permit request, which will probably have a few more moving parts into it, takes into consideration a little bit more broader picture than what that very specific variance did. I believe we have representatives here tonight for the property, and their outside representative, Mr. Hine, who was here last night, got to talk to him a little bit. I think that's, the use that is being proposed for that is a warehouse use. It would be storage and wholesaling out of that facility. That's all enough for me.
Do they want to speak?
Yeah, anybody that wants to, if you want to say something, this is for the owners, the representative, if you want to make any statements before the mayor opens it up for public comment, you're able to do that at this time.
Any representatives want to make any statements? I know there was questions about traffic and in that road, and it came back to be one truck a day. Is that, if I remember that correct?
That's the information we were given, is that it would be one truck a day at the most, accessing. The deeded access to the warehouse property actually does go right through, it goes Enterprise Lane right through the middle of the mobile home park. And so that's the current legal right of way to get in there for that property.
Okay.
Okay, I have something. When we had the planning commission meeting, we said we was in favor of an entrance off of Macaulay Drive. Now I'm being told that they won't be using that. They will be using the right-of-way through the trailer park.
So, right, in the planning commission, that's what the planning commission would prefer, would be to be the access off of
Exactly,
Macaulay
but
Drive.
now I'm being told it would be tractor and trailers going through. Is there anyone, yes it is, Ms. Price?
Oh, no.
How-
We have to do,
We're getting ahead of ourselves.
Okay.
This is for public comment. Once we
Okay.
close the public comment, then we can move on to that. So is there anybody here who wants to comment in reference to the conditional use permit for the 110 Macaulay, I think is right, is that correct?
that's any of the public, the general public, the adjacent property owners.
Come on up, introduce yourselves, you're here to talk to the council, so come up here, speaker, introduce yourself.
I guess this is, I'm sorry, first time here.
That's fine, no problem at all.
My name's Donald Chapman. I live at 133 Grand Smith.
Okay.
My property actually backs right up to where the warehouse is, probably 60 feet where the property line is, and the side of the building. My main concern is light pollution, shining on the house. What's granted, right now it's grass field. If it's permitted for warehouse, what does that expand to? Will that become a parking lot? Will there be 15, 20-foot light poles out? My background, I worked for Capital Electric as a inside salesman for 8 years and did industrial sales for so forth, so I'm familiar with lighting. Standard warehouse lighting is a wall pack. Shines light out straight. New laws are dark sky compliant, where there's a little cap over it, but it still lets the light shine out. But now there is, new lighting that directs it straight down, so there's not as much pollution. I just want to, make sure that I can keep. I want their property to be safe, obviously, security, people working there, but I want to be as intrusive on my property as possible. So that's my main concern. And traffic, does this open it up to future is there gonna be 15 trucks? Is there gonna be 20 trucks? In 5 years, am I going to be looking out at a parking lot full of tractor trailers off my back porch? And that's about, that's everything.
Is there currently, I'm assuming it's currently no lighting
We
right
have no
now?
light, it's
dark.
Yeah, and anybody, I don't know how this works, if it's stapled or whatever, but if anybody wants to drive down Granny Smith and see the lighting at the moment compared to going around Co-op to see Pilgrim's Cargill lighting, it can be pretty bright. So, that's
Thank you.
thank you.
Do you want to wait till the end to answer the questions, or are we gonna, you want to do for logging and stuff like that? Give the records.
Give them at the end.
Yeah.
Okay, anyone else want to ask some questions? Then we'll ask the people making the request for conditional use to try to answer some of these questions. Anyone else want to make a comment?
My name is Joanne Campbell. I'm the one that owns the mobile home park and one owner. We do have concerns of the tractor trailers coming in between the residential part. When I first was told, I was like, Mrs. Jones, that it was going to come around and go around, it would never bother the middle. So we was kind of concerned because we dealt with National Fruit. When they was there, they messed up the driveway, they never helped us fix it. Trucks would sit in the middle where our residents couldn't get in or out. And so that's more of our concern, is just the track controllers coming in with with the people that's been. And we don't have kids, but we have all kinds of other things
Right.
and stuff.
Just my question, if it's truly one truck a day, is that as big a concern for you?
We would have to warn our people because we have a lot of older people that
Right.
live in that, so we'd be kind of concerned. That's the only thing. I don't think one truck would be bad. Natural Fruit was pretty bad for,
They probably had a bunch of people.
well, they sat there, like they'd come in the middle of the night and leave it sat there
Right.
and before they'd open the gates.
Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else want to make a comment on this? Okay, I guess the question to the folks making whoever representative is, I need to close my public hearing. I close the public hearing. Now we have questions for the folks, who's going to be the representative? Who's going to be doing the speaking here? Somebody jump on up there.
Hey, good evening. My name is Mustafa Orkanda. I'm the realtor representing the buyers of this property. So regarding the use, this business is headquartered in Shantou, Virginia. So this is like a satellite warehouse, which they are going to be using very rarely, as you mentioned, just one truck a day. And for security purposes, there are many doors with the building, and those need to be observed, but I don't think there will be a big lighting disturbing the neighbors around. So that is the case, and as this building has been historically used as a warehouse, just it will be the same continuation of the use, and the traffic of picking up the goods or unloading cabinets would not be that bad. It will be very, very rare use.
So as far as lighting, you don't see lighting up the whole thing in a big parking lot and night moving and all that sort of thing going on like a Walmart
No,
parking lot
actually,
kind of thing?
there will be some need for lighting of the old doors around.
On this
Yes,
side?
on the building.
Okay.
And so I believe the use of enterprise lane is already in the deed. So the buyers want to just continue the same use.
Would truck traffic be restricted to certain hours of the day? Are the operations kind of
Just during the normal working hours during the day.
daylight hours?
Yes.
Pretty much.
And you're the real estate agent, correct?
Yes.
Okay, I heard you say 3 times, I think. So you really don't know what the lighting's going to be. On 3 different subjects, you said, I think.
Yes.
I would rather know for sure before I vote on something.
The property is not closed yet, so we are presenting the buyers. So whatever decision here is made in order not to disturb the neighbors, we will follow it. So that is the case.
Ms. Campbell, how many trailers is there?
Oh, on that side, it's probably
8?
8 plus the big house.
No children?
No. Just have the older people.
Okay.
I guess I'm getting from what you're saying about the lighting, once it's purchased, whoever owns it will sit down with the council to ensure that the lighting, you don't start polluting with the lighting.
Exactly.
Okay.
Suggestion, planning commission has a meeting next week.
Okay.
And before council can act on it, they need a recommendation from planning commission,
Right.
from the public hearing. So planning commission can actually sit down and talk about this more, figure out, we can talk with the potential buyers or representatives and, with the concerns and see what could be, what assurances could be made.
Oh, okay.
And instead of having, a black or white decision tonight, we can discuss this and figure out if there's a way to address the concerns.
So we could do like we did last time, table it until the planning commission and have a final vote next, and we won't have to have a public hearing again,
Right,
correct?
exactly.
Okay, so we just delay it.
That's it, and I'm just offering, that's an option,
I mean, it's always better to hammer out the small, there's not a lot of, we really have the traffic concern and the lighting, and that's it, really. And if we can put that to rest, I think it would ease the council's mind that there is something, unless the council doesn't want to table it, wants to vote on tonight, that's the choice we have. But we can table it until the planning commission has a chance to look into it more. And what do y'all think?
So you have to wait for a recommendation from the planning commission.
Okay.
Am I correct in saying that council really can't vote on it tonight until the planning commission meets and makes our final recommendation?
We can't vote on until you give us a recommendation.
Right,
So if we
we're not
close
going to
this
meet
and I
tonight
went
to give that
to,
recommendation, are we?
if you're not prepared to give a recommendation until you iron out a few things, then
Yeah, because I've got some
we're not going to vote until.
different things that I'm finding out tonight than what we talked about in the
Okay.
meeting that I attended.
Okay.
Mine is Storage Lane. That's not an option for an entrance? The one that doesn't go through, so that's not even an option for
I
an
don't know,
entrance?
I don't know, that's.
That doesn't even go through, it goes by the trailer park, but it doesn't go through the trailer park.
Those are the things that you all can iron out. We got some small details to iron out, and I think I would be better off to have them ironed out, then we know exactly what we're voting on.
Agree.
So,
I make a motion that we table it until after.
You can't make a motion yet.
Oh, I can't?
Planning commission has to make a recommendation first. Yep.
I make a recommendation that we table the approval tonight until after the next meeting of the planning commission so we can discuss further.
okay. Okay. And you got 4 people there.
All right?
Call for a vote?
Yes.
Okay. So now can we do it? Can we table it now?
Does the council even need to table it?
I don't think so.
Because it's not, there's nothing,
Right,
there's nothing for them to act on.
There was nothing given to us,
Like,
you're
there's nothing
exactly
for you
right.
to act on, so.
Okay, okay. So then I will close the joint public hearing. And he needs to close the
Planning
planning
commission.
commission.
I hereby close this joint meeting with council and the planning commission's behalf.
Okay. And you can have a representative from the company here on what day?
So planning commission meeting will be next Thursday, 7 o'clock next Thursday. If there's somebody that's available to come in and sit down with us and we can talk to the concerns that you all heard here
Okay,
today.
there's a couple concerns, and we'll have a vote next month.
All right.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
And if you're here for this one, and you don't want to hang out for everything else, I have no issue if you want to head on out now. And we'll go from there.
5 o'clock comes early.
Okay, I give everyone a few seconds to head on out, and then we'll go from there.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
George.
Those things get tougher and tougher. Stacy, did you have something for me as far as
There's no way to turn
the...
around back here either, so there's really anything going on there.
So I need to make the motion first before we get into it.
So you can go ahead and start. Bring it over, that's what we do, but we need a motion to take that.
Okay.
And then we can the new one.
Okay, now what we're here to talk about is last meeting we tabled the subdivision, Roxbury Lane development, I'm sorry, so much going on. And I know we tabled it then, so we need a motion to take the previous plan off the table so we can discuss it. So do I have a motion to do so?
I make a motion to take the previous plan off the table so we can discuss it.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, around the room?
Yes.
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 Okay, I knew there were a number of questions that were asked. AC put something out on, I don't know if the town website or Facebook, with a fair number of the questions, the answers. I'll just hit the highlights real quick, and then council can get in their discussion. There's questions about the roads, but as everyone knows, VDOT handles that for us. We are not the experts on roads. They are, until we adopt them, then we'll have to become the experts on them. But we did check with VDOT because of the way it was rated. Some places it was rated, some places it was just blank, but we did check with them, and they said that it is on their priority project list for 2026. Now, I'm going to ask, when we get into it, did we find out when it was phased, when we saw this first beginning to get built? We'll look into that in a little bit. As far as water, we keep a good track of our capacity. We have enough capacity with our one source, our well, to provide water to this one. We use about 12 million gallons. We produce about 12 million gallons every 2 months. And that's enough to provide this project. It's really this project, the one possibly behind Food Lion, and this one here. And we have an equal spring that produces, this one produces 160 gallons a minute, and our spring produces upwards around 200 gallons per minute. So we basically have currently twice the capacity that is needed. But again, we're still looking for another resource, because if something happens to one, we're only got the capacity we need. But we have significant more water than we need right now. We checked into the PSI, and as everyone looked, most of the ones in American Legion or Legion Hills are 80 PSI plus. We did have one street that's 68 to 72 with the recommended PSI being 40 to 60. And we have the luxury of one person works for the town. He has a reducer on his, and he checks his is 42 PSI from being done by the reducer. We did check, as everyone knows, I think we're really in a good spot for a small town. We model our entire water system. It's modeled in the computer, so if you make one change, you add that change and see what it'll do. We modeled this one, and basically 40 homes, which is 80, but 40 homes makes a PSI difference of 0.1, 1/10 of 1% on the PSI. So you can expect a drop of 0.2 of PSI on your water. So it's not even a 1 PSI drop. And if you remember on this one, we added get me right, is it an 8-inch line?
Yes.
We had a 6-inch line feeding it, and we knew we were having some issues with water pressure, so we went through the slope property and added a 8-inch line, so it's totally looped. And I think it said 40% is being fed by a 6-inch, and 60% is being fed by the 8-inch. And I guess the other questions we had were, there was a question about who the builder was going to be, and I don't remember the company, remind me, Debbie. It was Lennar, a company called Lennar is going to be the actual builder, and another question that came up, and we'll ask, I got a question. You know, you showed us, I'll ask you guys, Wayne, you guys. You showed us pictures of the housing, the style. How do we, I don't know the builder, but how do we ensure that that's what they're gonna build? That sounds like a simple question, but how do I know when a guy shows up, I don't know what's something that doesn't even look like what you proposed? Is that, I mean,
I don't know, I mean, outside of what we provided, I don't know how to answer that question. In fact, in writing a contract, like, that's what we're gonna, what they give us is what we're holding them to be built. I mean, there's nothing more than a golf ball.
do you, now, I guess the question is the property yours and they're building on your property, or are they buying the property and taking it
No,
over?
it's our property.
Okay, so you're gonna own the property the whole time. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
They're just buying the lot.
Okay,
Building
okay.
the house, that's it.
So you're not doing all this and just selling it and walking away?
Right, and we're ultimately responsible
Oh.
from start to finish.
Okay, so that eases my mind a lot more, because
Right, and the
I-
covenants is all the HOA stuff,
Okay.
like, that'll be drafted as Steph finishes the plans, and
Okay.
we work with the attorney's office to do all the HOAs and covenants and drafting, be approved by the town, XYZ, that,
Right.
we'll be responsible for all that.
Okay.
See if that's fell through.
It's a lot easier for AC to go to you guys, I don't know why I said you guys, and saying, that ain't what you said.
You'll never deal with that. You'll never deal with them, really, from the council perspective. The only thing that they'll do is have to go through Rockingham County for their building permits, and they'll have to get their building inspections through Rockingham County, just like.
So they're truly just a contractor?
They're just a contractor, that's
Oh.
correct, that's it, yeah.
Okay, good,
And we've
good.
had many sit-down lunches with Lennar, and to keep the prices down, they have very few you can pick from. So think like where'd this triangle house come from with 2 chimneys and a pink front? I mean, that's might be an idea for some homeowner, but it's not in the one you can pick from.
Okay.
It's just a small couple that you can pick from.
Well, that,
That we won't, take a right or left from.
Yeah, the exterior of the houses will all, appearance will look the same, right? Like, it could vary in color, things like that, but they'll look the same.
The
The only
same
thing is, switch around, like he said, there's the interior layout, and a couple of different garage here, and it just,
okay.
it switches like that. But outside of that, it's the same type of model home.
There's only like 2 or 3 different models, but you can take that model and make it different, even though it's similar.
Yeah.
Colors and.
Fit each
Colors
one.
and put the garage on this side, put the roof coming this way, a little few feet more, put metal here, put shingles here. It's a similar house, but it looks different.
Right, okay, that eases my mind, 'cause I like to work with the people who present the plan.
Yeah, we'll answer our phone.
Okay.
Yeah, you know where we look at, where we're from.
Okay, and that's why I told AC, you were saying how we're local people and we care and you know who we are, and I didn't want it to become, it ends up just some dude in Manassas and I don't know who that guy is. Okay, that's only, I want some of the highlights that we looked into, some of the questions that, I think all the questions that were asked. I know the council's got some questions somewhere along the line. I'm guessing they have some questions.
Mine were answered.
Yours were answered? Okay. Anybody else have any that weren't answered? I mean, we had a public comment last time. This is, it was recommended by the planning commission that, recommend approval. Now it's the council to ask all your questions, and if not, you haven't, you need to make a motion, either approve or deny, or whatever the council's feelings are.
I have a question first.
Yes, sir?
Will there be at least a 50-foot buffer between the project and all the adjoining property owners? All?
There's one corner there which really kind of gets a little bit smaller than that. You can see.
Seth, feel free to go up there. He's got the map,
Okay.
so feel free to.
Yeah. So this is like 80 feet. This is all, this is the old plan.
Under the second sheet.
There you go. Yeah, so this is all about 80 feet. This is, one here, between the road and back, still have to do that. It's only just this little more, that gets a little bit tighter. And that window through there, we're pushing in a much denser evergreen, shade. Yeah. And then of course,
When you take the car all the way back, it's
Yeah.
right here where
Okay,
it's just,
that's what I
that's the
thought.
one spot where it's closer than what it was before. You've got the last,
Yeah.
right there, and it's just a little bit closser than where it was before.
All right, okay.
So the homes didn't.
Hey,
Unless he's one of these two.
Yeah, there was,
It's been
but it was,
changed, the road has been changed.
Um,
So
checked with Quentin on that, and we put it out on Facebook, because we didn't get other way to get it.
Okay, Carl, I think what's going on, when they originally submitted the plan, there was no buffer at all. And then they moved the road further down, which created a
That's possible.
more than 50-foot buffer. And what you have, what you have is you have this one, which has, I think, a 50-foot buffer. And what they came up with after our last meeting of possibly moving, let's see, 54, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe 10 of them. 11, 12, moving 12 of them across the street. And having no houses except for 5 of them near the neighbors. So they, and it's really up to us which one, they're saying which one do you like better? Do you like all those with a 50-foot buffer, or would you rather have all grass buffer and just a couple houses? Is what they're asking now.
From what I see, where it's less than a 50-foot buffer, there is some greenery in there.
Here's the greenery, the greenery and shrubs and trees and what forth that someone talked about last time, that hasn't changed.
Yeah, that's an evergreen screen for that section. And the other sections that we just did, we pushed those units to the other side of the road. And the other benefit there's 2 benefits. One, creates more of an actual separation between those units and the closest houses on the other side. But also from a visual standpoint, you're looking at the front of units as opposed to back. And that extra distance kind of helps with the preservation of visual view shed. And so for that buffer between, we've also mixed in deciduous trees as opposed to just a straight evergreen screen. So that way, those view sheds are really just a much more, I think it's a nice improvement.
And and I want to say for anybody here in the public who lives in that area that is wondering what we're talking about, the plan from last month to this month, they offered a revised plan, and basically it moves the townhouses that were at the end, vast majority of the townhouses that were at the end of Roxbury and the backyards of, kind of the backyard of Irish, on the other side of that street. It moves it closer to, towards the Broadway side. And the road was realigned. So now that those townhouses would actually butt against a natural foliage, it's trees already planted there, so it would actually butt up against that in the back instead of butting up against houses.
And as everybody knows, I'm sure, is we approved a plan for this project in 2019. And there's already a plan approved that someone could go in and build. So when we're talking about traffic on Irish Lane, the one that was approved before, which could be built without coming to council, is all the residents go down Irish Lane, all the single-family homes go down Irish, and all the townhomes go down the new street on the bottom. I personally, this one has more townhomes, but I like it for the fact it's got a connecting link and hopefully funnels people keeps them on the new road and funnels them to the bottom instead of every single body going down Irish Lane. But that one, I want people to remember that one's out there, and people can build that because it was approved and by council in 2019?
19 or 20.
19 or 20, it's been a while. So any other questions anybody have? Carl had one. I guess the first question is, which option do you like first? Do you really like the back one?
The revised version?
The other question I have, is it my understanding that once the project is built out, that the fire hydrants will meet minimum requirements for pressure?
Yeah, I think that's approval, that has to be approved by the county fire marshal.
Absolutely.
So that all comes in any plan.
Yeah. Now, I guess, shoot, came in and out, that's bad.
You got a question over there.
But we don't take questions right now, ma'am, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, I guess first off, which plan does the council like before we vote and see if we're gonna approve it? Do you like the original or the second one? 1 or 2? Two being the one with the houses moving.
2, I think.
The 2.
Two. Yes, two.
Okay, it seems like two. So everyone's talking about the same thing. We're talking about this number 2. So, any more questions? I had another question, I can't remember what it was, but I guess it wasn't that important. Okay, we tabled it, then we untabled it. We're looking at the newly revised plan, which is option B. I guess it's option B, I'm calling it option B now. Do we have a motion of any kind from the council?
So we need to make a motion to approve the revised site plan, option B.
Yeah, and the Rocks, approve the Roxbury subdivision for Plan B, I think.
So, let's say for plan dated October 30th? That's really small, I can't see it. October 30th, 2024.
I'll make a motion to approve the revised plan October 30th, 2024.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Do I have any further discussion? Now's your time to discuss. Okay, we'll go around the room.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Okay, thank you all. Anything else? Everyone can hang around, or if you were just here for that and don't feel like hanging around, you can go home early. It's up to you all. Thank y'all, thank y'all. Thank you. Okay, now we're gonna, I'll wait till everyone. Okay, we'll go back to business. AC, you got Public Works.
All right, we had enough here, but one thing in Public Works, the Macaulay Drive sidewalk project, the contractor was out yesterday and bored under Main Street for the cabling of the pedestrian signals for the crosswalk. So we had heard spring might be when they came back, so I don't know if maybe that was just the crew that did the bore. We'll see, but they are still moving on that. So. And hopefully with a little bit of rain, maybe we can grass grow. And that's all I have for Public Works. Unless anybody has any questions for me.
That's all you have?
I've been dealing with lots of all this other stuff, so.
And everybody knows Chris is off November because of hunting season. We'll get our report in next month. Okay, public hearing we already done. Business and industry. Any news on our restaurant?
No news on the restaurant.
Okay.
The one thing I have under business and industry is that the Winter Festival will be the weekend of December 7th and 8th at American Legion Park. And I believe we are full on vendors, is that right? We're full on vendors, and Cecilia has quite an assortment of food trucks scheduled.
Yes.
And so I think all that information is on Facebook, and so looking forward to that.
Parks and Rec.
All right, I have 3 things on Parks and Rec. I sent out about the gateway signs, the
Yes.
pictures at the top, just before I go through doing the work and stuff. Is that something that, what's council's preference on that? You want to keep the same picture at the top, or do you want to look at changing it up and doing something different up there? And it doesn't matter to me, because I'm going to have to go out and find a company.
It's the covered bridge.
The covered bridge picture is the one that's on there now, yeah.
I like covered bridge, but I also like seeing options. I like change though, but that's me.
Well, maybe, I mean, we could send it to Parks and Rec if we wanted to do that, and that way they can mull it over and figure out what the best direction is.
When you said it to me, the first thing I thought is, the covered bridge is history, but it isn't there now. What about the bridge that's in the park? Like something different, or some other thing in town that means stuff, that, you know, there's other meaningful things in town. So I like going to the Parks Committee. I don't know who's on the Parks Committee, I don't remember. I know Sharon's on it. You're on it, Deb.
It's like,
Okay.
For another month.
Maybe you can do it before you leave.
Clarence, you're on it?
Okay. Okay, let's see if we can get it.
So,
So it's, okay,
Yeah.
okay, all right.
And get a quick meeting together and come up with
Well,
something.
we have the other thing that also falls under this with the Eagle Scout project. So if we can get something scheduled, we can talk about all those things. J.R. Son is working on his Eagle Scout project and has approached the town about doing that. And I think incorporating something or figuring to go in somehow with the park master plan, I believe is how it was. So it's a good opportunity for him and for the town to benefit from this. So. And then the last thing, I think I've received maybe one or two responses on the peace poll. Does anybody have any other
I have
questions?
I have no issues with it. I don't know where we're going to put it.
Yeah,
We talk to the Parks and Rec.
Yeah, we'll put it Parks and Rec too then. So if we can get a meeting together with Parks and Rec, I'll send an email out to you all tomorrow. And just let me know what works for you all.
And again, I know it's a Parks and Rec committee, but if anybody else wants to attend, feel free to jump right in.
Committee meetings are public meetings, just like every other meeting.
Anybody
that,
here can attend them also.
Council has. So. All right, I think that's
it?
All that I have on Parks and Rec.
Okay, finance, nothing right now?
I am working on, that's all on me, waiting for me to get the management discussion analysis done, but I will have that done either tomorrow or Monday. I got some information.
For the audit?
For the financial report, yeah. And then we can send it back over to the auditors and they can print them out. We'll get them distributed then. I would expect maybe 2 weeks or something like that would probably be kind of a good time frame.
Planning commission vacancies.
So
I have somebody I want to, I haven't asked him yet, but I got a possibility.
So and I've been approached by an individual at Quentin Terminal too. And so it's been done multiple ways in the past. If council wants, they can appoint them immediately. But we've also done it where the individual who's expressed interest goes and meets with the planning commission and does kind of an interview.
I have somebody.
Okay. So, well, maybe we have 3 people then, which is great because we're having several vacancies on the planning commission and then we'll have a vacancy on the BZA as well. So if that's how, council, tell me how you want to proceed and we can.
I kind of like I think the last time we had them go to the planning commission, they spent a few minutes to figure out how it works and what it is and see if it was a good fit. I kind of like that personally. And then you can like it too. Everyone go with that?
Okay, we'll do that then. We'll contact everybody and have them come in and meet with the planning commission. Maybe we'll see if we can get them set up quick enough for next week.
And anybody who wants to be on the planning commission or
BZA.
the board of zoning appeals. The board of zoning appeals is only required when there's a zoning variance that might be 1 or 2 times a year.
It's usually one every 2 years.
1 every 2 years. So it's
not a huge commitment.
It's not a huge commitment. You're appointed by the courts. And if AC cannot approve something unless he's got a written ordinance or land regulation says he can do it, if he can, he's got to go to the BZA. So BZA, if you want to get something to get your feet wet and try, BZA is the perfect place to start out.
Yeah, both are good. The planning commission is really good for anybody who's interested in getting involved with the town. It's usually a crowd's quite this big that attend, and it's more a discussion type in the group as the planning commission works through things and kind of brainstorms and looks at the problems. So it's a great way to learn about the town and how the town operates and the governance of the town without getting thrown right into the hot seats up here to start with. So.
Yeah. Okay.
And I will put something out on social media and the website about anybody so that they can.
And we can have upward to how many can we have on the train?
I think we can have up to 15.
Yeah.
Not that we necessarily want to have 15. That might be a little bit more than manageable, but we vary between 5 and I don't know if we ever had said 5 and 6 is typical.
And I think we're down to maybe.
And we will be down to 4, possibly 3.
Yeah, depends on how the election and stuff goes. So, yeah, so we need more than that.
Is it 3 years?
What is it? I'm not really sure.
I think we're 4-year appointments on the planning commission.
What else we got going on? Oh, Plains District Memorial Museum. You have anything for sharing for a call Bev up here?
No.
Nothing at all? No Christmas dance or Christmas something going on? No?
The Winter Festival.
Okay.
Well, we'll say something. We had a dinner for 12. It's 12 people, and they we do a dinner for, well, we did lunch, and they gave us $1,100 for the lunch.
Wow,
12 people.
Nice.
that's awesome.
Yeah,
I can't afford to go. to
they
lunch.
liked our food.
Okay, Bab, you got something for us?
You got time?
How's your knee doing?
Well, I think I'm just getting old, I think it's the whole trouble. Just kind of falling off the ladder.
That doesn't help.
All right, Saturday, April 9th, 1921, the annual Plains District School Fair was held in Timberville. It consisted of many athletic contests and other schoolwork. April 29th, 1954, the Newman Building and Material Corporation building was under construction. That's where Grander's Printing has been for quite a few years now. And Newman started down the old D.S. Walter building on Main Street, corner of Main Street and Church Street. That was just torn down. Monday, April 24th, 1922, the movie picture The Sheik was playing at the Columbia Theater. April 1968, the Kick the Store building and the old bowling alley building were being torn down. April 1949, the mining of zinc began just west of Timberville. April 14th, 1910, the Southern Railway made an appropriation of funds to build a new depot at Timberville, with work to begin soon. And that one depot, remember, was torn down in 1974. April 1909, railroad passenger fares were hiked from 2 cents a mile to 2.5 cents. April 1909, the 3 rural mail routes in Timberville began in 1902. By the year 1909, in the month of April, 18,723 pieces of mail was delivered. And about a month ago, we had a yardstick donated to the museum, the M&S Corporation, and that was kind of a mystery. That came up years ago, and we didn't know anything about it. And so I was going through some stuff the other night, and I came across a big paper. I had this information all the time and didn't know it. But the M&S Corporation was Mitchell and Shank, and they produced chicken feed. And it was located, I think, up behind the old New Method Drive building.
So you said what did you call the Brander Printing Building? What did you call it? You said the printer building was called, what did you call it?
Newman's. Oh, it's a Newman Building Material Corporation.
Well, it was Newman's. What is it?
Oh, they were building, they're the ones I think did all the permits underground.
Okay.
Way back then.
And that's what that was originally?
Yeah, and, yeah.
Okay.
They Newman's built it for their,
I never heard that before.
oh,
Learned something.
well, it's a good thing I showed up.
Bad news.
Okay, does council have any other business that's on their mind tonight?
One thing, so I want to congratulate Clarence on his reelection,
Yes.
Kevin on his election to the town council, and we still have no information on who our write-in's going to be yet.
So,
It's a presidential year, and write-ins are tough enough in a non-presidential election year for the voter registrar's office, so I sent another email to Lisa this morning or today, and haven't received a response yet, but I know they're working as hard as they can. They apparently have a lot of day of registrants to vote, and so they have to go through, her office has to go through and certify all of those, and so they'll get us the information when they can. We're just all kind of waiting to see.
Carl claims he got over 1,000 write-ins, so he's telling me. I'm kind of questioning that right now. Okay, public comment, anybody? I know we got a couple visitors here. Anybody want to make a comment? Come up, introduce yourself, and give your comment. If there is none, then we're going to head on out of here. Thank you all.